first of all, thank you for asking me to speak. So, and also, thank you for putting this together. Like we talked about the other night when we spoke, it's something when people, the younger generation, get involved in these types of things because it shows that there's progress being made. That we are all in this together, and we have to coexist. And the fact that the younger people get it, which means that we have hope for our future, that things will progress to being better. So thank you for your hard work, for your hard time. I mean, it's been a couple of days, and you've done yeoman's work, from what I understand, from the back end of things. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course.
Um, for everyone else, for those who may not know me, my name is Darryl Thompson. I'm just a regular guy. I work a full-time job. I do theater on the side. It's how I met Jasmine and Jacinda. So I come before you all today as a Black man, a friend, a stranger to most of you, and most importantly, as a fellow American citizen in this country that, regardless of what we think it is right now, it's still great in this country we call America. For all of us, we all, if we're on this call, kind of share in the great hope to affect and potentially effect change in our lifetime. And as we mourn the loss of George Floyd, and we go back and we reflect on um, the numerous others who have passed on or have been affected by these types of senseless killings, we often ask ourselves the question, why? Or what do we do? Or how do we change things? And we all begin searching for answers. Um, I pose that to find that answer, we have to ask ourselves a fundamental question. And that question is, how do we restore equitable value to all humanity? Think about that. How do we restore equitable value to all of humanity? Conflict reflects an imbalance. And in our case, the US has unfortunately, a racial heritage that perpetuates, in many ways, the devaluation of one culture and one race over another. So, in essence, generational racism begets generational inequality. Now, we can all be, ideologues or an optimist in the hope that, by example, we can affect and potentially effect change by promoting the unity of the human race, without the boundaries of color. That's the hope. We are, as Mrs. Still was saying, that there technically is no race. We are humans. There's ethnicity, but we are humans. But we are trying to aspire to get to a place where we don't need to acknowledge race. But here we are. So we ask ourselves another question: is how do we accomplish this without or while dealing with the heavy burden of generational conflict and a defined culture in certain respects of hate? And I say that because we tend to forget sometimes when we talk about the issues of ethnicity and race that we are a tribal nature. We all as humans have tribal nature. We get into our groups, we have our villages, our homes, and our communities, the people that we surround ourselves with, and the culture in which we breathe when we are in those communities. So when we're in our community or we talk about those communities, those values that we hold are passed down. This is what creates this generational tug of war, per se, because different villages and different communities have different values. But the difference is one sometimes feels they outvalue the other. And that creates the imbalance, which creates all of this negativity and negative energy that we have today. And it's persisted before us. So I'll be honest with you. I pose those questions, but I'll be honest, I don't know the answer. It's hard because we as humans can't change people's hearts. We can affect them to want to change, but we don't have the ability to physically change. The only thing we can do is personally be responsible for ourselves and hold ourselves to a higher standard so that we know that we are doing our best to treat everyone with love and with respect, regardless of who they are, where they come from, what their village is, or what community they come from. So I say that, so it's a start. And I say that because we as a community, a human community, must cast away the notion that our voices do not matter. It's very important. Our voices matter. If they didn't, when it comes time for these elections, people don't come searching for you. They don't have to look for you if you're already there. But that aside for right now, we must cast away our inner divisions as we look at race. Again, we are aspiring to get to a place where Jacinda's color and my skin color don't matter. It doesn't matter where we come from, how much money we have. We are humans working towards the greater project of equality and everyone being prosperous. So in that, we must keep each other safe. We must keep our community strong. We must keep our families together, and we must keep ourselves educated. We must keep our children educated, teach them and ourselves our laws and the Constitution, to learn our rights and understand how our government truly works. You know, we must keep our brains sharp with knowledge. You know, we can't just sit around and YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and we're on World Star and all these other fantastic sites for entertainment. But we need to continue we need to continue beyond our schooling and always constantly learn about ourselves, about other people. We must keep our brains sharp, wear it like armor when we go out to fight for justice and equality. We must wear it like armor for our future and to prevent ignorance in our future and the opposition that tries to pin all of this down and pit us against each other. We have to keep our vigilance, be informed, and vote, because we have to vote. It's not enough not to sit on the sidelines. We have to vote not because we are pandered to, but because we as a community have an obligation to identify and select leadership that will effect and affect change with policies that will help break cycles of oppression and suppression. It's not enough for us to sit idly by in ignorance, cursing out outcomes of a system that we don't engage until there's a tragedy or there's something that we just feel is unjust or it affects us negatively. So, it's one thing to say, oh, well, I don't like that, that high rise they're building next to, the restaurant down the street. Well, did you go to your town council meetings? Did you go talk to the planning board or voice your opinion, to your local officials or your city council? These are important things for us, and it affects everything. It affects our taxes. It affects our livelihoods. It affects the racial things that we see on a day-to-day basis. You need to know who your police chiefs are. You need to know who your fire chiefs are. You need to know who's your mayor, your city council members, the dog catcher. You need to know who's in your community and who's working for your better good. So we have to activate and energize in our communities, not only in words, but in deeds. We have to invest in our towns and in our schools and in your places of worship. Go out and get on your town councils. Go out and get on your school boards. Again, I repeat, know your police chiefs and your fire chiefs and all your elected officials. If you know who they are and know where they come from, know what they stand for. If you don't like them and you don't agree or you find them not effective, vote them out. It is our civic right to do so. This is how we affect change. I'll give you one better. If you feel like they're ineffective and you can do a better job, it is your right to run for office. Go out and be part of that change. You affect that change. That's how we get to the next level. Everyone needs to be engaged. But on this day, In this year, we have to make the commitment to no longer wait for others to do what they were never going to do in the first place. It is up to us to be change. We can no longer sit and be idle. The ones that cause hate and breed hate and live in communities of hate will continue to do so. And that's fine. That is their right as citizens of our country. That's their right. They can choose to do it. But it will no longer be a decision for them to decide our place, our collective place as a country as it regards to race, or to value others because of their race in this world. That's what we do if we get out there and we activate. There will continue to be struggles. I'm not naive to think that there wouldn't be. But as this world kicks and screams against the changes of tide, they're at a disadvantage because change is already here. Change is already here. Look at the world. Even in all of this miserableness that's going on, the chaos and failures of leadership, the world is crying out and they are marching. They are marching everywhere. The outrage is not just tied to the United States, it's tied to the world. And people are speaking out because enough, excuse me, enough is absolutely enough. You know, I speak a lot of this to my Black friends, but this applies to everyone. Everyone. And for anyone who is on this feed who is not a person of color, I thank you for being here because you are a part of this change. We thank you for standing in solidarity with us and helping promote the cause for change because essentially we can't do it without you, but you can't do it without us either. Because without us, there is no movement, there is no equality. John, I know we try to stay away from religion, but this is an important verse. John in the Bible, chapter 15, verse 13 says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends." It is our responsibility as a friend, as a fellow citizen, to watch out for each other, to stand for each other, to promote each other and respect each other, regardless of difference, regardless of race or anything. We are to be there for each other, always. So at the end of this message, I just say, for all of us, keep our heads up, keep striving for excellence, keep encouraging one another, keep the hope of all of our ancestors who, in any capacity, and that's something else we forget too, you know, in all this talk about racial heritage, where Black folks have struggled to get our message across, there have been white people and Asian people and Jewish people and Germans and people of every race who have walked alongside of us, have marched, broken ground, blazed trails, bled, died for our rights to even get this far. So we have to keep each other together and keep that hope of a better tomorrow alive. Keep each of you, I keep each of you in prayer. I pray all of you, for whatever faith you have, you keep it and keep marching on. My love to you all. Thank you for listening for me for this time. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Darryl.
Thank you, Darryl.
That was very, very, very well said.
Thank you. So how do you feel now? So, I mean, you know, it's interesting because I know you're not one for talking.
Yeah.
But, and that's fine. It's fine because sometimes, as Jasmine will say, sometimes not everyone's supposed to be in front of the camera. You know, sometimes you don't have to, you know, be the person carrying the banner, but you can organize in the background. And that's what's important because everyone has a place. your voice might not be on the front lines, but your voice might be the organizer in the background to make sure everyone's got the platform to make their voice heard. You've given that to me, and I appreciate you for it. So I keep on with the fight, sis. Keep on with the fight, and yeah, you got my back, I got yours. All right, all right.